Bye-bye Meghan Markle. With love, Netflix. Looks like the Duchess of Sussex's torturously dull lifestyle dross has been switched off forever.
A fast-moving situation exploded in Los Angeles, and the timing had people whispering instantly. What started as a quiet moment at a private terminal didn't stay quiet for long. Within hours, it felt like something much bigger was unfolding, stretching far beyond California and straight into international territory. An unexpected departure at LAX sparked serious speculation, especially as reports claimed concerns were surfacing thousands of miles away. According to multiple accounts, Prince Harry was suddenly confronted with financial information that caused real tension behind closed doors. Questions about oversight, timing, and who knew what began moving through private circles fast. This wasn't casual chatter. It sounded like internal trust was being tested in a serious way. None of this felt random. The pieces lined up too cleanly. Airport staff noticed the shift immediately. No motorcade, no flashing cameras, no polished entrance. Just one familiar figure moving low-key, dressed down, avoiding attention but still recognizable to those who know the routine. The energy was different, urgent but controlled. This wasn't standard travel. The destination? Dubai, a city known for privacy, serious wealth, and complicated legal landscapes. Sources claimed the flight was booked one way. That detail alone carried weight. Public figures rarely move without return plans locked in. One-way travel signals urgency, not vacation vibes. Moves like that suggest something was already in motion, long before takeoff. At the same time, reports from California hinted at a separate issue gaining heat. Insiders suggested Prince Harry had been alerted to troubling financial details that shifted uncertainty into real concern. Then one number started floating around quietly. $12 million. Not a vague estimate, a specific figure. And when numbers get that exact, people pay attention. Financial analysts pointed out that sums of that size usually represent a single intentional transfer, not everyday expenses. That alone raised eyebrows among professionals who track large movements of capital. When operating funds shift unexpectedly, the effects hit fast. Security teams, staffing decisions, public strategy, long-term planning, everything depends on stable cash flow. And when that stability shakes, even powerful names feel it. Without stable cash flow, even the most polished public image starts to crack under pressure. By the time legal teams and financial advisors began quietly paying attention, the situation had already moved past internet gossip. When money crosses borders, especially between major jurisdictions, things escalate fast. Timelines shrink, options close, pressure builds. What made this moment feel especially unsettling wasn't just the reported money or the sudden flight. It was what it hinted about trust. For years, the public narrative showed unity and control. Now, unanswered questions and a trail leading far beyond California painted a different picture. As the plane climbed into the sky, the distance created more than miles. It created silence at the worst possible time. Nearly 15 hours in the air meant one key figure was unreachable, while uncertainty grew louder on the ground. That window gave space for decisions to harden and for consequences to quietly take shape. Some reports suggested the balance shifted the second the aircraft left the runway. Prince Harry remained behind, facing questions that would not simply disappear. Financial professionals agree that moving sums of this size requires coordination, paperwork, and legal awareness. It does not happen by accident. Over the past year, visible cracks had already appeared. Staff exits, advisors stepping back, constant structural changes within the operation. What once looked like instability now started to resemble preparation for something bigger. Dubai added another layer entirely. Its financial and privacy frameworks operate differently from systems in California or London. Assets can be more complex to trace, and legal procedures often move through careful negotiation, rather than rapid enforcement. That reality fueled even more speculation. Some observers believe the destination was selected with strategy, not convenience. With diplomatic relationships and international optics involved, the situation began to feel larger than a private disagreement. For Prince Harry, the emotional weight appeared heavier than the financial one. Long-standing cautions from family circles resurfaced, painting the image of someone caught off guard while events accelerated around him. Witnesses at LAX described tension in the air, phones checked repeatedly, quick conversations, sharp movements, urgency that did not match a relaxed departure. This did not look like a casual international trip. It felt timed, deliberate, and rushed. The second the plane lifted off, the tone shifted. Trust seemed strained. Silence became louder than any statement. Questions stacked up quickly, a flight, a fortune, and timing that felt almost too precise. When talk of missing funds surfaced alongside a one-way international booking, the narrative changed instantly. What sounded like gossip began to resemble a serious crisis. Once financial alerts trigger and borders are crossed, the rules change fast and recovery becomes harder. And still, the story keeps unfolding. Crossing international airspace means stepping into a completely different legal climate. Landing in Dubai introduces new layers of privacy and process that complicate oversight and accountability. But what stands out most is not only the rumors, it is the response, or the noticeable absence of one. Historically, the Sussex team moves quickly when headlines flare, statements roll out, friendly media contacts get briefed. Reassurance follows. This time, nothing. No immediate clarification. No strong denial. Offices connected to Montecito, London, and Los Angeles appeared unreachable. And in high-stakes situations, silence does not calm people down. It makes everything feel louder. This didn't look like calm strategy playing out smoothly. It felt like scrambling behind closed doors, fast moves with tense energy. When denial stops working, the focus usually flips to containment, and that shift feels obvious here. The reported $12 million figure only turned up the heat. With the Spotify deal finished, Netflix payments said to be staggered, and publishing income largely mapped out, the cushion never looked huge to begin with. That financial reality hits different now. California life is not cheap. Property taxes, estate upkeep, staff salaries, and private security can burn through millions every single year. If liquid cash suddenly becomes hard to access, stability can wobble fast and without warning. Even high-profile households feel that pressure when the numbers stop flowing smoothly. When stress stacks up, independence starts to thin out. Isolation makes everything heavier. Being far from family support while juggling public obligations and financial uncertainty creates a tight corner. For Prince Harry, this may feel like facing a reality he once tried to avoid, one where assistance could come with strict terms. Any approach to King Charles, if it ever happened, would likely carry expectations in return. A shift back toward Britain, living more privately and under structured boundaries, would mean major change. Support could come at the price of control. Since stepping away from royal duties, rebuilding a separate life has been central to the public narrative. Adding children into the equation brings an even more delicate layer. Reports have circulated about travel, but confirmed facts remain limited. Legal experts consistently warn that speculation must stay careful, especially where minors are concerned. Cross-border family matters are never simple. California, the United Kingdom, and the Middle East each operate under different legal frameworks. Jurisdiction, residency, and financial leverage can shape outcomes in complicated ways. With enough legal backing, disputes can stretch for years. That reality alone raises the stakes. Online activity spiked as aviation trackers followed an Emirates flight departing Los Angeles. Once wheels touched down, attention shifted to what would follow. Public appearances, legal filings, or quiet movement behind secure gates? What once appeared to be a private separation now feels like something unfolding on a much wider stage. The image of an unshakable partnership has clearly faced strain since stepping back from royal life, and the world is watching closely. Prince Harry's public story was built on unity and shared purpose. That image looked polished for years, but recent appearances hinted at distance and strain. When reports of financial irregularities surfaced, everything shifted fast. What once sounded emotional suddenly felt strategic. Legal analysts point to a gray zone where access itself may not be illegal, but full depletion raises red flags, especially across borders. Dubai is rarely a random destination. It is known for privacy, reinvention, and strong financial protection. Stepping away from British headlines and Hollywood noise sends a message of control. For Harry, that level of precision feels unsettling. He has openly said he trusts easily and avoids digging deep into legal fine print. That kind of trust can carry weight when stakes rise. As jurisdictional walls grow, the image of a modern humanitarian power couple appears strained in Montecito. Legal teams are said to be active, statements expected, and movements watched closely. Staff exits, once brushed off as routine, now look more intentional. A smaller advisory circle with financial focus reportedly stepped in. While attention turned overseas, decisions at home continued quietly. By late 2024, Harry was spending more time in London while meetings in California reportedly moved forward without him. Financial experts often explain that large transfers are structured in stages, divided carefully over time. By early 2025, parts of that reported trail had crossed borders. Warning signs can stay invisible until access changes. After that, recovery becomes complicated fast. Across the Atlantic, royal circles were described as alert but restrained. Intervention was never likely. Distance, not rescue, seemed to guide the tone. When talk of Dubai gained traction, preparations for separation were reportedly already drafted. Messaging focused on space rather than defense. If official platform changes follow, it would signal a clear and deliberate break, without safety nets. Back in California, events appeared routine on the surface. Reports suggested local authorities were seen near the Montecito property for administrative reasons. Once financial concerns are formally recorded, the narrative shifts. A missing funds report transforms speculation into documented action, and that changes everything. It moves the issue from loud headlines to cold paperwork. The image of a prince explaining financial confusion to local officials feels stark, stripped of ceremony and grounded in deadlines. Timing suddenly becomes everything. Legal windows tighten, contracts edge toward expiration, public valuations start to dip. Every pause reduces leverage. Every action shifts control. When assets are in motion, the clock does not slow down. In moments like this, the real asset is not just cash. It is access, relevance, leverage. Momentum once carried the brand forward, but when that engine stalls, choices shrink fast. Selling off and stepping away can look smooth on paper, yet storms do not vanish just because someone flies above them. At 40,000 feet inside an Emirates jet heading to Dubai, everything may feel calm and insulated. Private suites, soft lighting, flawless service. But far below, consequences continue to build. This trip is less about distance and more about timing and power. By the time the plane left Los Angeles, the groundwork appeared set. California felt distant not only geographically, but strategically. Dubai is often described as a haven for privacy, yet protection there depends on influence and structure, not luxury alone. Over the past year, observers pointed to growing ties with wealthy networks linked to the region. What once sounded like rumor now feels more like preparation. The move looks less like retreat and more like repositioning. Some analysts suggest funding for this shift may have come from resources once assumed to support long-term family planning. That idea alone has heightened concern. A sensitive layer remains the limited public details surrounding the children. Reports suggested Meghan traveled independently, which naturally sparked questions, but no confirmed information about the children's location has been released. That uncertainty has kept commentary cautious. Legal professionals emphasize that in complex situations, children are typically cared for privately while adult matters are addressed formally. With multiple legal systems involved, complications are inevitable. As events unfolded, media tone shifted. Even outlets that once showed strong support adopted a more measured approach. Silence, relocation, and financial control combined into a narrative that no longer fits old scripts. In the United Kingdom, past tensions resurfaced quickly, adding another layer to an already complicated story. Commentators quickly shaped the story as one partner acting with precision, while the other looked caught off guard. That framing could stick to Prince Harry if he does not answer it clearly. But clarity takes focus, and recent appearances suggest visible pressure. Observers describe shock turning into something heavier, more reflective. This moment could either steady him or force a long-delayed reality check. Time feels like the biggest factor now. When large sums move through international systems, recovery becomes slow. Legal paths tighten. Delays strengthen whoever moved first. When the plane touched down in Dubai, reports noted a private security convoy waiting away from public view. No terminal walk, no exposure, just swift movement into secured transport. That level of coordination signaled planning. Decisions of this scale do not start at departure gates. They are structured in advance. The groundwork was likely set long before takeoff. What follows is less about anger and more about consequence. A partnership once presented as unshakable now looks strained. Early 2025 reports referenced a substantial sum, said to be around £12 million, possibly no longer accessible from shared channels. Beyond finances, the deeper issue appears to be trust and control. Legal analysts familiar with cross-border disputes describe the UAE as complex terrain. Once funds shift jurisdictions, reversal becomes procedural and slow. In California, operations reportedly continue, though cash flow questions have surfaced. A lifestyle built on global contracts depends on timing and leverage. Sources have speculated about outreach to London, suggesting conversations may have focused on stability rather than reconciliation. Any structured support, insiders say, would likely involve strict boundaries and reduced public engagement. Attention has also shifted east. Dubai offers discretion and a different kind of status, where privacy frameworks operate differently from Western media environments. For some, that signals retreat. For others, it looks like repositioning. At the center of it all remain the children, whose privacy legal experts stress must stay protected. Cross-border family matters grow complicated quickly, and speculation requires restraint. This situation may not end with dramatic statements. It may unfold quietly through filings, financial adjustments, and carefully managed appearances. Institutions endure. Personal alliances evolve. What remains are unanswered questions and a sense that a major shift has already taken place. What do you think set off the one-way flight and the financial storm? Share your perspective below and make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you stay updated as this story develops.